Hello, I'm Harold from the Netherlands. This is part 6 of Harold's Prog Rock show, and it's entirely dedicated to Pink Floyd, the famous band, the famous prog rock band. It all started with the Piper at the Gates of Dawn. It's from 1967. Syd Barrett did almost every song on this album. He was the leader of the band, Syd Barrett. Most famous tracks are Astronomy Domine and Interstellar Overdrive. Then the second one, that's A Source Full of Secrets. Syd Barrett was in fact out of the band, only one song. He went crazy, so it was no longer possible to be in the band, and David Gilmour was his successor. Later on, a very important member, he played the guitar. Then we have the album More. It's a soundtrack by a film. The next one is Umaguma. Umaguma has a studio album. This is in fact the studio album from 1969, and this is the live album. This Umaguma were 2 discs, a studio album and a live album. Then we go to Atom Heart Mother, a sleeve by Hypnosis. And the cow is in front. It's on Atom Heart Mother is a long song. It's the title track, and it's 23 minutes long with an orchestra. Then we have Metal. Metal is famous because of One of These Days and the 23-minute song called Egos. A compilation album, Relics. The cover is by Nick Mason, the drummer of the band, and it's a compilation of old songs from the very first albums. Then we have another soundtrack. It's called Obscured by Clouds, and it's the music by the film La Vallée. Then we go to a very important album. It's also my t-shirt. It's The Dark Side of the Moon. In the all-time album sales of all albums in the world, The Dark Side of the Moon is number 2. We have Roger Waters on bass and vocals. Roger did all the lyrics of this album. The band did the songs. We have David Gilmour on guitar and Rick Wright on keyboards, and of course Nick Mason on drums. It was for 14 years in the album sales Billboard Top 100 in the United States of America. The cover is by Hypnosis, and so you can see the whole album, the CD. Later on I will show you my vinyl copies. This is Wish You Were Here. The theme of the album is absence. And in 1975, when Pink Floyd recorded this album in the Abbey Road studios in London, one day Syd Barrett, the old member from the first album, appeared in the studio, and he was in a bad situation. But the band was totally surprised by seeing Syd Barrett in the studio, so that was a big surprise. Shine On You Crazy Diamond is dedicated to Syd Barrett. On this album we have also Welcome to the Machine, Have a Cigar, and the title track Wish You Were Here. The album cover is again by Hypnosis. It's a very, very special cover in my opinion. I have a poster in my bedroom. Then we have the famous Animals album from 1977. The songs have been inspired by the book Animal Farm from George Orwell, a famous English writer. In the background you see Battersea Power Station on my wall. I've taken that picture out of a riding train in London during my visit of Battersea Power Station. You can still see this building in London. Animals. I think, in my opinion, it's one of the best records Pink Floyd has ever made. It's up there with The Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, this one, Animals, and The Wall, which is also very famous. The Wall is in fact the best sold double album from all records in the world. It's about a guy who couldn't make contact with other people, so he built a wall around him, and at the end there is a trial, and the judge said the wall has to be tear down the wall. That's Roger Waters singing at the end of the album. So the wall has been moved away, and this guy has to make contact with other people. Okay, very good album, very popular, and in all live shows you see songs from The Wall. Okay, let's move on. We have another album, that's The Final Cut from 1983. Rick Wright is not on this album, the keyboard player, and it's reasonable, but not one of my favorites. Then in 1987, when Roger Waters had quit the band in 1985, 1987, David Gilmour, Nick Mason, and Rick Wright started with a new album and a world tour, and it's in fact a momentary lapse of reason. It's a very, very good album. I really like it. This was in fact the first compact disc I ever bought in my life in 1987. And I've been to the concert of this tour in Rotterdam, in a stadium called De Kuip. It's a big stadium with 45,000 visitors. And I have also the tour book. I will show that. This is in fact the tour book. It has a gatefold sleeve. Here you see the guys from Pink Floyd. Nick Mason, David Gilmour, Rick Wright. It's a very nice book. And here we have the cover of the album. It's really great. The World Tour Pink Floyd 1988, with all the beds on the beach. Very special. Okay, lots of information inside of this concert book. You could buy this one after the concert. Then there is also a double disc from the tour of A Momentary Lapse of Reason. The album is called Delicate Sound of Thunder, and there was a show in Venice which was broadcasted in Europe from the same tour. Then we have the successor, The Division Bell, and on this album we have High Hopes, and that is a famous track. Okay, then we have a live album, also double disc, that's called Pulse. Many years later, Pink Floyd returned to the fold with an instrumental album called The Endless River, and this is the CD, and this is in fact the leftover tracks from the previous album, The Division Bell. There's only one song with lyrics. David Gilmour is singing on the song Louder Than Words. The rest of the album is completely instrumental. Okay, then we go to my vinyl collection. This is the first one, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn from 1967. with Sid Barrett in the band, Roger Waters, Rick Wright and Nick Mason. Sid Barrett was doing the lead guitar and the vocals and wrote all the songs, almost all the songs. Then we have the Source Full of Secrets with David Gilmour in the band. Umaguma. Here the gear. Atom Heart Mother with the Cows. Pink Floyd Relics, picture by Nick Mason. Metal, the Metal album. I will show you the gatefold with Nick, Roger Waters, Nick Mason, Dave Gilmour and Rick Wright. Okay, Dark Side of the Moon, very famous. Very good album. Wish You Were Here, also very famous. Animals with Battersea Power Station and the pig flying. The Wall, the double album, very famous. With the hit single Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. The Final Cut. Then we have A Momentary Lapse of Reason from 1987 without Roger Waters. And we have a 12-inch on the Turning Away. Okay, let's move on with the live version of The Wall. The title of the live double disc from The Wall is There Anybody Out There? It's recorded in 1980 and 1981 in the Earls Court shows in London. There's this one that's inside of the box with lots of pictures and of course the 2 CDs. Interesting one. The Wall. Okay, we can move on with Roger Waters. His live DVDs. The Wall live in Berlin, 1990, with lots of guest artists. There's also an album from compact disc, live in Berlin. Then we have In the Flesh live. The Wall live. The Wall completely done. I've seen that show in Arnhem in the Netherlands. Great show. Then Us and Them, his latest show. I've seen the show in the Ziggo Dome in Amsterdam. And that show, which was done 4 times in Amsterdam in the Ziggo Dome, that show is on this album, Us and Them. A really great show with pigs and dogs from Animals. And during that 2 songs, Battersea Power Station was, could you see on the wall, on the big screen in the middle of the concert hall. Really great. Then we have Dave Gilmour live at Pompeii. Very good show. And was in fact at the same venue as the Live at Pompeii DVD from 1971 when they did the Metal album, including Echoes and One of These Days. Then we have a documentary DVD, Dark Side of the Moon, released on Eagle Vision. I have another one, Wish You Were Here, also on Eagle Vision with a documentary about the Wish You Were Here album. Then we have the movie from The Wall. There is a movie from, with Bob Geldof playing the main character of The Wall. Then we have Pulse. This is a double disc. And that's the live show from the Vision Bell. And that show I've seen also in Rotterdam in the Kuip in 1994. I was actually standing on the front row for the podium, and I was only 5 meters away from David Gilmour. So that was really special. Front row, 1994, September, in Rotterdam in the Kuip with the Division Bell tour. So I've seen Pink Floyd twice. I've seen Roger Waters, in fact, 9 times. 9 times. Okay, then we have, as a conclusion, some solo albums. The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking, Roger Waters, first album. Radio Chaos, second album. Amused to Death, actually very good. His latest studio album is in my car. My wife is away with the car, so I couldn't show that one. That's the best Roger Waters solo album ever made, and it's called Is This the Life You Really Want? I can recommend that album. Then I have also 2 albums from David Gilmour. The first one, simply titled David Gilmour, and About Face, the second album. The third and the fourth album from David Gilmour are not in my collection. This was my Pink Floyd show. I hope you like it. Leave your comments below this video. Tell me which Pink Floyd album you like most. Maybe your top 5 could be interesting. This is my show. End of part 6 of Harold's Prog Rock Show. See you next time. Bye.